two maps. One is from social media, a polar vortex sliding over your country, -20, Ice Age winter, your city in the caption. The other is from NOAA, a band of warm water in the tropical Pacific. Only one of those is a measurement. Here is the simple version. El Niño right now is real, and it is likely to get very strong. That does not mean anyone already knows the weather on your street next January. This video is 10 facts. What this actually does around the world, and the claims going around this week. The numbers come from official outlooks. The links are in the description. NOAA, IRI, the Japan Meteorological Agency, and the weather agencies that actually issue forecasts. One rule. If someone in August already shows you a finished winter map for December, that is not a forecast. That is content. What it is. Picture the tropical Pacific as a giant bath. El Niño is not extra heat falling from space. It is warm water sliding from the west side of that bath toward the east, towards South America. The air above it moves with it. Rain follows. Drought follows. Storm track shift. The name means the little boy or the Christ child. Fishermen in Peru notice the warm water around Christmas. That is the whole engine. Everything else is a ripple. Fact 1. It is already here. This is not a 2027 problem. NOAA said in June 2026, El Niño has started. Japan's weather agency says it has been in place since spring 2026 and is almost certain to last through winter. You are not waiting for a maybe. You are watching something that has already begun and is still getting stronger. Fact 2. Very strong is likely. Godzilla is a nickname. Scientists do not officially say Super El Niño or Godzilla El Niño. Those are headlines. They say weak, moderate, strong, very strong. In August 2026, NOAA said there is more than a 90% chance this becomes a very strong event this fall and winter. Very strong means the key stretch of Pacific water runs about 2 degrees Celsius warmer than normal, or more. They also gave a 69% chance that October to December 2026 is stronger on their official scale than any El Niño since 1950. That is a high chance of a big Pacific event. It is not a promise about your driveway. Fact 3. South America feels it first. Peru, Ecuador, parts of Chile, higher chance of heavy rain, floods, and landslides. The cold, rich water that feeds the fish off Peru gets weaker. That hits the catch. Northeast Brazil often goes the other way, drier. This is the oldest fingerprint we have. It is why Peruvian fishermen named it. Fact 4. North America splits in two. Southern United States, often wetter and stormier. Pacific Northwest, often drier and milder. Mexico and much of Central America, often drier. Caribbean, extra heat and drought risk are more common. Atlantic hurricanes, usually fewer. Eastern Pacific storms, usually more. About snow, both sides on social media oversell it. El Niño does not ban snow. It also does not book a historic blizzard. The South often gets more rain. The Great Lakes and interior Northeast often get less snow. One big storm can still happen. Nobody can stamp that on a calendar in August. Fact 5. Asia and Australia, where the rain usually is, it may not be. Indonesia, parts of Southeast Asia, and Australia, higher chance of drought and fire. The Indian monsoon can come in weaker or patchier. That matters for rice, and for a lot of people who eat it. Not a guaranteed failed monsoon, a tilted chance. If you live in Jakarta, Sydney, or Mumbai, this section is about your weather. If you live far from that rain belt, it is not. Fact 6. Africa does not get one fate. East Africa, extra rain, flood risk, and the sickness that follows dirty standing water. Southern Africa, higher chance of drought and crop stress. The Sahai, mixed. One red map for the whole continent is a poster, not a forecast. Fact 7. Europe is the loudest story and the weakest signal. Social media treats Europe like the main character. The Pacific does not. El Niño's direct hold on Europe is weak. The slight lean, when there is one, is a milder, wetter, windier start to winter. A hard freeze can still happen. It is a wild card. It is not the main bet. Fact 8. The polar vortex claim. You will see this sentence a lot. El Niño will drag the polar vortex over your city. Here is the honest version. The polar vortex sits high above the weather we live in. A strong El Nino can, later in winter, slightly raise the chance that this high whirl of cold air gets disturbed. Slightly. Later. A chance. That is not a -20 map with your town on it drawn in August. Fact checkers have already flagged videos like that. Many use unofficial graphics. Some use AI.
Fact 9. The planet can run hotter. That does not cancel climate change. El Niño does not create heat from nowhere. It dumps extra ocean heat into the air. A simple rule of thumb: extra warmth in that Pacific Strip tends to show up a few months later as a small bump in the world's average temperature. Strong events helped make 1998, 2016, and 2024 record hot years. So 2027 has a real chance of being among the warmest years we have measured. That bump sits on top of the long, slow rise from greenhouse gases. El Niño is the spike on the graph. It is not proof that carbon dioxide does nothing. And this summer's heat and fires in the north, El Niño was only just getting going. It does not run the northern hemisphere summer the way people are claiming. That heat fits a warming world plus stuck weather patterns far better. Fact 10. What is worth watching and what is noise? Watch the places with the strong signal. The Andes, Indonesia, Australia, East Africa, Southern Africa, the Southern United States. Watch food. Drought and floods in growing regions can move the price of wheat, maize, rice, coffee, and cocoa. Some posts say prices will double. That is a headline, not an official forecast. Prices can rise. Nobody has a crystal ball for your grocery bill. Do not watch a screenshot that names your street at a temperature for January. If the source is not NOAA, your National Weather Service, or another official outlook, treat it as entertainment.
The lies in one list. Ice Age winter because of El Nino. Not the main outlook. Godzilla will wipe out part of humanity, like 1877. 1877 was deadly in a world without satellites, forecasts, or food aid. Risks now are real. An extinction script is not. A map in August is the official winter. Seasonal forecasts give chances over 3 months. They do not give you a movie of every day. No snow anywhere or guaranteed record snow. Both are sales pitches. The pattern is always the same. A real event in the Pacific gets sold as a finished season for your house. Say it plainly. This El Nino is big in the Pacific. It is big for floods in some countries and drought in others. It is big for the world's temperature into 2027. It is uneven everywhere else. Strong in some places, weak in others. Invented on a lot of phones. The truth is less shareable than a -20 map. That is why you see the map more often than the NOAA chart. Save this. Send it the next time someone forwards a doomsday winter card. Sources are in the description. What claim did you see this week? Write the country and the caption. I will tell you if it is a fact, a maybe, or a map that should have stayed in the app.